Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Indie Choice Picks. And today I have a delight of a guest. His name is Simon Ponthier, and he is the creator of Bloodhunt. Now, if you don't know about Bloodhunt, this video is going to help you kind of figure that out because it's probably one of the most creative things I've ever seen in a while when it comes down to the supernatural drama. I think actually he might be either the first or second person to be on the show promoting a supernatural story. So sit back and relax, and let me bring to you the creator of Bloodhunt. Enjoy. Simon, thank you, my man, for coming on to the show. So I've been following you for a little while on Twitter, and I say that to everybody, but I mean, everyone has like their different like sort of niche when it comes to this. So I'm a little late actually checking out your Indiegogo, I'm sorry, and I watched your video, the intro video, Bloodhunt. Now, I have to say, there's a lot going on with this one. You got a guy who's a hunter, who's also a vampire, dating his boss's daughter. So I'm going to turn it over to you, my dude, so you could just set the record straight. What is going on with this comic?
Of course I will. First, I'll say hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure being here. And yeah, there's a lot of going on. It's like technically you start the story with Vincent being a normal human. He's like an elite assassin, a bit like John Wick type of guy.
Okay.
So, and he's dating his current boss's daughter. So he ends up getting sent to a simple mission, which is weird for him because he's used to having all those high tea type of jobs, like going for a guy in the Vatican, killing an entire mob gang, those high tea, and you have to go kill an old man in his sleep because he's standing in the way of my business. And he's like, what?
So he's like, this is kind of like a simple job, like this is what I usually do.
Like kind of weird. This is not my type of He goes, yeah, but this is like, that my daughter's gonna be taking the mantle of the house, and this is like my gift to her to get that old man out of the way. So he decides. So he goes, okay then. So he goes, but he ends up that the old man's an ancient vampire, part of like a secret council, and yeah, he was there sent to be killed.
Now, so the guy who hired him, the guy who hired him is the father of the girl he's dating, right?
Yep.
So he basically sent him in there knowing that the old dude was a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So now what's the plan? He's turned into a vampire. He's running around. He's like, I can't go in the sunlight. But I guess before we get into that, explain to me your concept of a vampire, because you got the ones who sparkle in the sunlight. You have the ones that can literally walk around in the daylight for no reason. You got ones that can create magical rings and they don't get harmed by the sunlight. What's your concept of a vampire?
Okay, in the story, there's multiple type of vampires, but Vincent is actually the type of that's more like Dracula.
Okay.
Or like Alucard, or the guy in Vampire Hunt 2D a bit. Like yes, the sunlight affects him. He's more like the ancient like before mankind, like a beast. So no religious symbol work. It's mainly like the water, the sacred water doesn't work. It's the sun. You can kill him through the heart, decapitation, burn the the body. They have powers. He can learn knowledge through blood. So it's those type of vampires that have no sparkles, no cheesy romantic thing. He's just a beast.
Okay. Now, with him being turned into a vampire, does he have any, like, when you get bit by a vampire, you got, of course, you're immortal. You have like super strength. You're probably bulletproof, or you can heal. Does he have any kind of like advantages when it comes to being a vampire?
Yes, he does, and there's the fact that he doesn't feed off human. He decides to feed off vampires and supernatural creatures.
Okay.
So being a vampire is that when he feeds off somebody, he can learn knowledge and abilities.
Oh, okay. So that's a little take. So if he were to feed on someone who's like a black belt in like every martial art, he would assume those abilities.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And it's also part of the story because the story is called Bloodhunt for that reason. Because the question was asked to me, it's the fact that he's on a blood hunt for vengeance in the book.
Okay.
But the council, like the other elder vampires, They want him because he has the blood of the elder because he killed him and fed on off of him. He drained his
Oh,
blood.
got you. Okay.
It's all. That's why it's called Bloodhunt.
Got you. So, I guess someone asked me this question before the show. I kind of do. I try to get people to like ask questions for in relation to whatever you're working on. So, one of the questions was, would I be a vampire or a werewolf? And I'm like, the idea of immortality is great, but as a vampire, I mean, personally, you have to feed on blood, and you don't know who has like AIDS and stuff. So I don't want to do that. That's kind of like a downside. Being a werewolf and all, you kind of age slowly, and you get all the cool stuff that comes with being a werewolf. You get fast, you get speed, you get heightened senses, you get all that cool stuff. I think my only downside would be when I would have to turn if I can able to like control the shift or not.
Hmm.
So my question to you would be would you be a vampire or a werewolf?
Me, a werewolf.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if
Yep.
you like change the color of your eyes and grow claws and fangs when you want to piss someone
Hmm.
off. That would be great. I would love that.
Yeah, I prefer. I do have a bias for werewolves. I like them a lot.
Whenever they come out with like any kind of like vampire show, I'm like, oh, I hope they do the werewolves. That would be great. And I'm not like talking like like little wolves, like people who actually turn into like wolves. I'm talking like the two-legged behemoths, like werewolf. Like that's dope. Now that's a werewolf. Like this whole turning into a fucking dog. Like get out of here. I don't want that. Like you be like
Yeah,
you're gonna be a werewolf, but you're gonna be an actual wolf when you shift. I'm like, I'll pass. That's not fun.
yeah, like the underworld ones.
Yeah, like those underworld werewolves were just massive. Like I would like shit myself if I saw one. Like, whoa, no. But like the Twilight werewolves, they were like okay. They're just really big dogs. I mean, I guess that's like okay because you still scare people. But like, feel like the what was that one show? True Blood. Those werewolves, man, them werewolves were whack.
Agreed.
They were whack. So I'm gonna share my screen so everyone can get a look at your campaign going on here. So let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen. It's black, but I can see it. Oh, now I see my campaign.
There we go. Cool. So this is the page, and I see you've absolutely crushed it here. And how many days did you hit your goal?
We hit it. We had the first goal in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And you have how long did you set the campaign for? For 30 days?
At first, I set it for 30 days, and I just extended it for 20 days lately because people have been saying that they would like to get the 15K.
Okay. Okay.
Because at the 15K, you get extra pages at the end of the story. So technically, the ending, they like the final fight with the werewolves and vampires.
Uh-huh.
Instead of being 10-page fight, it's going to be a 20-page fight.
Okay. See, that's what I'm starting to see Indiegogo being more of an option for people because unlike Kickstarter, you're like solid. Like you have to hit this goal. If you don't hit it, you don't get paid. You can't extend it. You can't take time off. You can't add gifts and stuff like that. With Indiegogo, you can extend it. You can have a flexible goal. If you don't make a goal, you still get what you made out of it and you're still able to produce the project. So I see a lot of people are starting to funnel into Indiegogo, and they take a lot less out of what you make too, as compared to Kickstarter, from what I've heard.
Yep, that's true.
That's cool. So, tell us about the team. Is it just you, or are there more people working on this project with you?
Technically, it's my baby, but I have my friend Danny.
Okay.
That's that's a co-creator and co-writer.
Okay. How
'Cause
long were you?
he's the one that pitched to me the idea of a hitman getting sent to a simple job and dying by a vampire, but I kind of took my own twist out of it, so it
That's
became
cool.
my baby. So I'm the one behind it. I'm the one doing the art, the story. He's the co-writer. You don't see
Cool.
him much because he works for a video game company.
Oh, which company?
I won't say it. But
That's okay. You don't have to say it. No problem. So, how long were you sitting on this idea before you decided, I'm going to make a comic book?
Technically, we started like pitching the idea in 2017,
Okay.
and in December, I wrote the first pitch, the first scenario for the first book, because I actually wrote the pitch for 3 books.
Okay.
It's a one story per book, like it's a one complete story,
Okay.
but there's 2 sequels planned, and the last one is actually the end, and you'll be in a bit, and we're going a bit ahead in the future.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. So we're gonna get back to this whole campaign running. At the end of every episode, I ask people to give the audience advice on how to run a successful campaign. So get
Oh,
ready
of
for my
course.
questions because people who are watching it, they're looking to get their projects funded as much as possible. All right, so
Okay, no problem. I have no problem with that. That's what we do, me and my friends on our shows on YouTube.
fantastic. So so who's the art? You're the writer, and then do you also do the art and
Yeah.
color? Or like, what's the breakdown on that?
Technically I do everything except what my my friend does. I
And
do the I do the story, the art, the ink. I'm the colorer, but the book is in black and white. But as you see in the tiers, there's a black and there's a colored cover, and the variant's gonna be black and white.
now this is a cool scene right here. He kind of reminds me of a cross between and don't take offense to this, but I kind of see like Blade and Morbius from Spider-Man just kind of combine into one dude here.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just give him some wings and let him fly around. That'd be cool.
But one of my biggest inspiration, to be honest, would have been you've seen Helsing?
Yeah, Van Helsing, the one with Hugh Jackman.
No, Helsing, the anime.
No, I
Uh,
haven't seen that one.
no,
Mm.
yeah, it's there's a few things from like that cover there. It's technically like an homage to Trigon,
Yeah,
Vash the Stampede.
Trigon. I have that. I have that. I remember because looking at the guns and like I'm getting really fascinated with what some of the artists are doing with weapons, especially firearms. Like you have this gun and have I'm assuming this is a blade right here, and then you have
Yeah.
the actual barrel of the gun. And I'm like, man, dude, I wish they would make something like this in real life, dude. I would rock that everywhere. Like,
The idea behind the design was that you're talking about like a guy that wants to be the best of the best, and he wants to be known as Death, like the Reaper. He wants people to know him as Death. So when I went with the design, I went like, he needs to have those type of like blades on his gun to make him look like more like a Reaper.
yeah,
And if you notice on the buckles, like people are often asking me why are three buckles? I'm like, if you notice, it's some takes the ab place and you have the buckle, and it's an animated skull. You go from like a regular skull to an angry one and a yelling one.
that's cool. So did you, when it comes to character design, because I'm seeing right here, you did a lot of the whole basic comic breakdown. You do your drafts and then your pencils and then you do your inks and then you add colors and then it's letters and stuff like that. But you stopped at the inks. When it came down to designing this guy, how many iterations did you have to go through until you said, okay, this is it. This is where I'm going to go with?
To be honest, I pretty much hit him on the spot because I knew what I wanted. You know, you
Okay.
know, you know when you have an idea running in your head and there's you fall on one song,
Mm-hmm.
and that song just goes, oh, I have it. And that one was Super Villain by Powerman 5000. And it's a song about like a guy that wants to be the super villain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, let's go with that idea. And like it's like a take of the old classic monster movie where the monster becomes like the guy you like at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's take a monster of a man and make him into like some kind of hero, like and show his quest. So the idea in the three-part story is like like the Cornetto trilogy, what they call. It's like an homage to all the action movies. So you have the Payback, Vengeance story. The second one will be the Rise and Fall, and the Redemption story. And
Okay.
you see him go through them.
Now, this might be a spoiler kind of question, but are you planning on your main character being able to turn back into a human, or is he going to be like, nah, I kind of like being a vampire?
There's no turning back.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I like it. I like it. So, the whole book is in black and white, as we can see here. What made you do black and white instead of color for kind of speeding up the process of getting this book out, or just for the sake you're trying to go for that? Because I see like an manga look that you got going on here.
But my answer will go with another thing at the same time. With when you say that you want to help other people when they get prepared to
Hmm.
crowdfund. So this is my second campaign.
Okay.
I had one just like two weeks prior. I launched that one, and I was not picking up until the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it was a failure. But the thing is, in that campaign, I was offering a colored version and a black and white version.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And a lot of people were saying that they really like my black and whites, and because it like colors kind of take away from the line work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying like praising that one more than the colored version, even if I had a pro taking over.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decided to go for the second one, I'm like, I need to put my goal a bit lower than what I had the first time to make it faster
Yeah.
and make it, trendy. So I'm like, let's go with a black and white since people like it. So I can put it down because, when you're putting a black and white, a colored version and a black and white, you're printing two different books. It's not like doing a different cover.
Mm-hmm.
So it's full price for the sets.
And you kind of get more of that dramatic feel, like with this scene right here, when it's black and white, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks cleaner. When if you do black and white, like you really have to know how to do it. You just can't, say I'm gonna do black and white, and you don't have the skills to make the effect lines right here or set up a scene to where you can tell that this is a gritty story based on the line work of this particular page and panel and of your characters and stuff. You know what I mean?
And I do it purposely because I don't use any rulers or straight line straightener.
Uh-huh.
Straightener. Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I hire a person to do my inks because I suck at inking. I can color, I can draw, I can pencil, kind of pencil. But more or less when it comes to doing inks like this, I have to outsource it to someone else because, I mean, my inking is not the greatest. That's like probably one of my flaws. But it's also fun to also help other artists who are, looking for, I guess, work, and you can get them on freelance websites and stuff like that. So that's also good. You want to outsource it. Plus, it cuts the workload in half and gives people an opportunity too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. I really am digging the black and white here. It makes it, like I said, gritty, and it makes it more realistic. Like, this is cool. Like this whole scene right here. Drawing bricks. How long did it take you to put in every single brick on this house?
I drew. It took me a while, but I drew myself. I created myself a layer of bricks that I drew,
Uh-huh.
so I could just put it on and then go detail it.
Okay, so I'm still new to the whole graphic coloring thing. I'm still learning, but I saw someone create a brush that drew chains, and I thought that was cool because that was like, imagine
Yeah.
if you could draw chains like every. Oh, dude, that's crazy. So, did you create like a brush for this, or you say you created a layer with bricks and then you just kind of hashed it out after that?
I drew because I don't want to use those type of things in my books that much
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to look like it's still done traditionally because that's why people are always surprised to say that my pages are drawn digitally because I still use the same type of medium. I don't use all those line straighteners or like the chain. I have it, but I use it as a reference if I do and I would draw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is me drawing all the bricks on a 11 by 17 layer. Then I just use it for every time I need to brick, and then I re-ink it
Great, great, great.
because
Yeah.
it get long drawing bricks.
I have just entered the whole digital drawing age. I'm used to my pencil and paper, dude. I love getting pencil and paper, but I got this new drawing tablet for like Christmas a few years ago. Never used it. And I started using it, and then people are like, "Oh, you should go digital and draw." And I go, "It's not the same, dude. Like everything is all slippery and moved around. There's no control." And I'm like, but the more I've been doing it, the better it's been for me. So it's
What did you get? Graphic tablet or a pen display?
I got a Huion, this thing right here. It's a USB.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yep. So it works well. I love the pen and stuff. It's great, and of course, you're a digital artist when you got the drawing sleeve here. So
Yeah, I mean, I got the U1 Canvas 22 Pro.
that's a USB one too, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about trying to get one that's not a USB to where you can draw freely and just kind of transfer the files over to your computer when you're done. That way I don't have to sit in a room all day and have to be in front of a computer. I can draw anywhere I want and it doesn't really matter where. So it'll probably be something I invest in a little later. But yeah, that's cool. How did you break down the fight scenes here? Did you use any references or anything like that? Because I know a lot of people have problems when it comes down to multiple people.
No, I don't. I don't use reference. I just draw and just lay it out. Like I just like creating creative art. You could say. So
Mm-hmm.
I just lay it in. I don't use references.
Some people call me a cheater because I draw the draft and sometimes the draft doesn't come out, and I just tell my artist, like, this is the idea that I want. Can you make this happen? And he's on it. He's like, I got you, bro. Hold my beer. But people are like, that's cheating. You're making him do all the work. And I go, no, I conveyed the idea to him as best as I could. And he just makes it better. I mean, that's what I pay him for. So I think that's perfectly fair on my end, to be honest.
And I'm self-taught in drawings, but I did go do university in 3D animation.
Oh, okay, cool. Now this is a cool scene right here. I started drawing in the 6th grade actually, and I used to draw from sight. I've never really actually drew freehand until like maybe a few years ago. I actually use this guy for like references because when it comes to drawing fucking hands, oh god, I can't do it. I have to have a reference on drawing hands. Like right here, I could recreate the scene perfectly, like straight out of what you've done here, just by looking at it. You can map it out and kind of in my head figure out how I'm going to do it in a perspective and all that stuff. But if you tell me to draw the scene where the guy's getting shot in the face up close, and I'm like, I'm going to need a reference because I don't know what you're talking about. So.
But for the bottom, from the bottom one, I did go check, like a broken skull just to see.
Yeah.
What the effect, like what it would look like, like the inside, like if you broke the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I did go see it, but no, I usually don't really use reference.
That's some skills, man. I commend you. Okay. And is this the variant cover you got going on here?
No, this is the exclusive print that you get when you go from the $50 tier and up.
Ah.
You get an exclusive print like this. It's going to be numbered and signed.
That's cool, man.
They're going to be about the comic book size, so it's just going to be with the comic.
I would probably, frame that up and just hang it up. Like, I got a whole like mess of art. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but people that I've come across and I've supported Indiegogos and campaigns for that, I just frame it because this is something that, sad to say, the reason why a lot of us have gone independent is because they don't, stuff like this would never be in mainstream. Like, you would never find someone who would want to publish this, and that's kind of the thing. So when you come across an indie artist, it's like you got to support them any way you can.
My Bloodhunt to me is like doing my Lobo in a way. I'm going all out in action and fun, like dark, gritty fun. Yeah. And next I have Not the Merc that's going to be coming up, the one you're looking at right now. After that, I'm going to go with fantasy with Wolf Dragon. I have like 4 project lineup, and I have like 3 other project with other creators.
That's cool, man. See, that's the fun. With independent, you can work with anybody. You can do whatever you want. You have the creative freedom to do whatever you want, and you have the ability to write the story you want to write and not worry about are people going to bash this. And that's kind of like what I tell everybody. Like, people are listening to like what the crowd is saying, for example, like Star Wars and stuff like that. And it's like, no, if George Lucas was still in charge of Star Wars, he would have done Star Wars the way he felt Star Wars should have been, not listening to people who are advocating for changes in Star Wars. And that's the responsibility of coming with a creator, because you're going to get people who enjoy what you do, and then you're going to get people who criticize you, but that's the price of putting yourself out there, So.
But I don't know if you noticed, but on lower there's like a sample of 3 pages.
Let me go back down really quick.
It's for like when we reach the 10K stretch goal. There's going to be a 10-page ashcan of a full story of a sci-fi about a warrior queen in space.
This one right here?
No, go up a bit.
Up a bit, up a bit, up a bit. It's right here?
I guess still, that's what's upcoming. And if you just go up a bit, you're going to see it's a montage of... There you go.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
So that's a totally different little story. It's a 10-pager.
Okay.
And it's called Royal Rumble. So it's the story of a warrior queen of a warrior planet called Elrica.
Okay. You hear that, folks? So if you help Simon over here get the 10K, he will release some extra stuff. So there's a little incentive. So I mean, you can already just count my backing in. I'm going to back this. I should have logged into my account so I can just like hit follow, so I can just keep up with it. But I'll do that on my phone and keep it in my pocket for now. So.
When we reach the 5K, 2 lucky backers get randomly chosen to be on the variant cover.
Oh, that's even more of a little incentive there. Okay.
I unlock a free print. Then that's all for the physical backers. Okay.
Okay.
I unlock a free print of an exclusive drawing that I will be doing only for this campaign,
Okay.
and one lucky backer gets the original.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool.
At 10K, it's the Ashcan, and they're numbered and signed.
Okay.
And if we reach the 15K, the story gets longer. The book becomes an 80 plus book, an 80 page plus book, and somebody gets a sculpture, a bust sculpture that I'm doing of Vincent for free.
Ooh. So you got a lot of incentives going on here. See, that's what I love about independent creators is that we give, you just keep on giving, and people like getting free stuff.
The way the way I see it is, we are not just selling our books to you. It's not just a pre-sale like a lot of people are seeing it. I'm seeing it like, guy, if you back my projects because you believe in my project, you believe in me, and you invest in my dream, so you need to have little special perks like that colored cover. It's only for that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a final cover. It's just for you guys.
I like that. You're using that to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because being independent is tough. You got so much stuff that you have to deal with. Some of us have families, some of us have full-time jobs and have to come home after a long day and just sit behind a computer for an additional 2-3 hours working on what you want to do. That is why I do this show, to give people like you the opportunity to have a spotlight shown on them for an hour or two.
And we are, and we all appreciate it.
I do my best, man. I do my best. So we're going into the meat of this. Now I'm going to pick your brain, and I need you to just tell me as much as you can. You had a fixed goal of $3,000, and yet you've already crushed that goal, and you say you did it in the first couple weeks.
Yep.
Going from pre-launch to where you are now, how did you prepare your campaign to do so well?
Just give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
The air conditioning is beeping. Give me a sec.
Go for it, dude. No worries.
It's gonna stop in a second. So yeah, what I did is, technically, it's to have more of a presence outside of comics, of just Twitter and Facebook. So be on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a lot of the people are on YouTube, right? In the comics gate is pretty much YouTube's.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of people are telling like newcomers, wait till your book is ready or your campaign is ready to promote it so people can see it. And the first thing I will tell is, screw that.
Okay.
You need to promote it like a year in advance if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, my first campaign was launched and it did 2 months, and I started getting noticed in the last 2.
Yeah.
And I knew that was happening, and I made sure that I let people know that if that's not gonna work, I'm coming back for more.
Got you. So did you when you were promoting it, I guess that we're in your pre-launch phase right now, were you collecting emails? Were you getting people's information? So when the book launched, you were able to just blast it out to the people who were interested in your work?
Yeah. That's one of the things that I learned, is that we can create a pre-launch page.
Mm-hmm.
And with that pre-launch page, you can actually create a subscribe letter.
Okay.
And that I did use because, like I told you, there was like a 2-week break before the first campaign and the second campaign, and those 2 weeks was mainly to invest it on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was promoting, creating the newsletter, sharing it everywhere, being on YouTube videos, or a show like you, and getting people to share it around pre-launch, offering a little perk like everybody that was subscribing to my subscribe letter.
Mm-hmm.
If they got in the 2 first weeks, they got a free little thank you doodle in their books.
Oh, okay. So I heard someone kind of mention that before, and that's kind of like the route that myself and a few other artists are going with. It's in a pre-launch stage, because honestly, I'm not going to give my email away to something that I'm not going to get back. And I know that sounds selfish, but you got to think like the consumer, right? Like if I give you my email, what am I getting out of this? Just a silly newsletter every week that's going to be in my spam mailbox that I'm never going to read, Or am I going to get something like first 6 pages where I can read it, or an HD wallpaper that you're not going to get anywhere else? Those kinds of special discounts, special memberships, things like that. And when you're in pre-launch, you have to think outside the box. Okay, what can I give that is going to be worth value for someone.
As a second thing I did is, when we launch a campaign, we often do like if you get in the first 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get that, right?
Yep.
So me as an extra perk is for everybody. It was if you get in the first 2 weeks, you get an exclusive double-sided bookmark,
Hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's also an incentive to go subscribe because you want to know when the campaign launch. You don't want to know like after those 2 weeks. You do want to get that little doodle and a bookmark. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So, when you were in your pre-launch, what kind of feedback did you get from people who subscribed to your newsletter? Did they give like any comments like, "Oh, this looks cool"? Because looking at it just by what you have here, looks cool, right? But I would suggest maybe in pre-launch you didn't have as much material as you do now, right?
No, I had because when I launched, I already had 54 pages done on 64.
Oh, so you had like you were already like balls deep into like having most of this stuff already done.
Yeah, yeah. Everything that you see there, it's on the first campaign too. Except that there was a page where you see a pair of boobs with my nipple sim there instead that I took off.
Right on, right on. Okay, so if you have most of your stuff done. So I would suggest like people watching this would say, if you're going to pre-launch, make sure you have something, done to show, not just,
Oh yeah.
title art or anything like that.
Try and get as much as you can done. Especially like I can understand if a writer comes in and he has to pay that artist, right?
Hmm.
You get at least those. You at least need to have at least 3 to 5 sequential pages.
Yeah,
It does help a lot of people to see that you can tell a story. Two, I can understand that you cannot have more because you need funding to pay that artist. But you
yeah,
do need this. If you're an artist yourself, get as much as you can done before launching because the more that you tell people that they don't have to wait a year to get their freaking book. Like right now, the pages that are not done is because I have to wait for everybody to get in because I have be in the book tiers. You can be a mobster and get your head blown up. You can be a vampire and you could be a werewolf in the book.
okay.
And those are the pages that are not entirely done.
Yeah. So like throwing out those kind of incentives, I've seen that a lot where there's a tier in your campaign where you give, I don't know, X amount of dollars and you're able to be drawn into the story. And I think that's very appealing to some people because, I mean, who wouldn't want to be drawn into a story? I think that's every person's dream to be drawn into a story, you know?
Yeah, and you have to know that there's also some people that are just looking around and they do have the amount and they want to invest money in a project. There's people that just want to buy a book, right? But there's also people that are like, I want to invest in other artists, and they're looking for tiers that are big. Like that's something that somebody told me before. Is like you need those high T tiers. Like they're not your main focus, but put them there because there's some that there will be somebody that's there and go, I believe in that guy. I want to give him a push, and they'll want that. But make sure that it's very interesting.
Got you. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. So, well, man, thank you for giving us that chunk of
And
knowledge.
remember, in business and everything else, they say KISS.
Hmm.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Stupid. I got you, man. I got you. Always keep it simple. Think big, but
Yeah,
keep it simple as possible because that's
not
what's
too
going to be the money.
not too many tiers because that was one of that was one of the problems that I had in my first one is keep not too many tiers. Keep it to like 5, 7 max, not too many. Like your main four or three, and your IT ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those you make them limited.
Got you. Fantastic, bro. Well, Simon, man, thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been a blast. I love your story. I'm going to back it as soon as I get a chance. And thank you for giving us all the knowledge you can on how to run a successful campaign. Because even as I'm doing this show, people think I'm well versed in the whole dynamics of running the campaign.
Hmm.
I'm not. I'm really not. But the main reason why I did this show was to get inside the heads of those who have done it and kind of pick the brains of those people to kind of give me advice. And, I share that advice with the community. This is the kind of stuff that people they're trying their hardest to run a campaign and be successful. And they're just not getting there. And they're probably missing one little thing that's probably going to make all the difference. So this show helps those people kind of figure out what's going on with their campaign, what they can do better. And of course, I get to showcase artists like you with something as awesome as Bloodhunt. And that's also fun in itself too. So thank you for coming on the show, my man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a blast. It was fun talking with you, and anytime you want. And like I tell people, don't be shy. If you have a question or you want a pointer, just send me a DM. It might take a day, 3 days for me to answer, but I will answer.
Hey, that's all you can do. Sometimes my DM box is full of just people who want to come on the show, and I'm just like, oh, I got to get back to these people. But we're busy outside of Twitter too. We have lives outside of Twitter, so
And there's also sometimes the Twitter get bugs. Sometimes somebody answers you and you see it like 3 days after because you didn't have the notice.
yeah, I get that a lot too. So I try to get around to everybody, but to those who can't, if you're watching, I apologize sincerely, but I'm doing my best here, guys. I'm just kind of over flooded right now, but yeah, that's the story for next time. Whenever you do your sequels and stuff like that, reach out to me or I'll reach out to you. I'm always on the Twitter's newsfeed trying to find some new artists out there. But we'd love to have you on the show again, Simon. We'd love to have this whole little exchange again.
Of course, I'll come in. I'll come on next time because my next project is going to be Not the Merc.
Yeah.
And you're going to be seeing that sharing around soon.
Keep me posted on that because I'm gonna need some filling up the rest of September. So if you want to get a spot open, let's talk. Let's get you on the show again because it was a real blast.
Perfect, bro.
All right, Simon. You have a good Saturday, man, and I will talk to you on Twitter.
Perfect. Have a
See
good
ya.
one.
You too. And that's all the time we have for today, guys. If you like what Simon is doing, just go straight over to his Indiegogo page. I will post the link in the description below. He has a lot of cool stretch goals that are happening, as you saw from the video. So go ahead and promote that and support indie comic book creator Simon because he's doing something really cool. If you're an indie comic book creator and you're trying to get a little bit more exposure, hey man, come on a show. You can reach me on Twitter at heroic_studio. Send me a DM, show me some project stuff. Are you running a Kickstarter, Indiegogo? Are you doing a webcomic? I don't care. Bring it to me and let me see what I can do for you guys, all right? So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Always hit that subscribe button and notification bells. I do uploads every Sunday and Wednesday. So enjoy you guys this week, and I will bring you more content on indie comic books, all right? Enjoy yourself. Adios.